Archangel Michael says, "It's an emergency, don't try to ignore this." The person you love deeply will never let you know this bitter truth. Everyone except you knows what happened last night. My precious child, it's time to pause, stop dismissing the nudges from above, stop ignoring the subtle stirrings within your heart, quit pretending you didn't notice the shift that came over you last night, that unsettling feeling in your spirit, the breath that caught in your throat, the ache that lingered in your chest. That wasn't nothing, and it certainly wasn't random. That was me trying to reach you, trying to stir your soul. And now I must speak plainly, this isn't just another message, this is urgent. You've poured your heart into this person, I see your love, I see your vulnerability, I've heard the soft prayers you whispered, when you thought no one was listening. I watched you let your heart open again, even though you swore you'd never go back to that place of surrender. But hear this, child, there's something they've kept from you, something they hoped you'd never uncover. The most painful part, others already know. Everyone but you. That's why I've been pushing through the signs, trying to get your attention, since last night. That's why the energy feels louder and heavier. This message found you at this exact moment for a reason, because you deserve to know the truth. It's raw, it's tangled, and yes, it may hurt, but it belongs to you. Even though this person cares for you deeply, they lack the courage to bring it to light. They're scared, terrified that if you ever found out what they did, you'd walk away without looking back. They fear your silence, your heartbreak, your eyes filled with hurt. But I am not afraid, God is not afraid, and I, Archangel Michael, will not allow you to live in shadows, while others walk in daylight. You deserve the full truth, you deserve to see everything clearly right now. So don't scroll away, don't close this message. This might be your only chance to hear it, before everything changes. If your heart is racing, if something within you is leaning in, then stop what you're doing, and keep reading. This message was sent from above, and what you are about to hear, could be the reason everything starts aligning for you. Pay close attention, something happened last night, something involving the one you love, that has the power to shift your entire world. Behind closed doors, your name was spoken in a conversation, not meant for your ears. It spilled out, not because they planned to confess, but because the universe needed it to happen. And now they're panicking, not because they don't love you, they do, but they love you so much, that honesty scares them. That's where it stings, you've built your trust on someone, who's hiding something behind their eyes. But don't ever think that God isn't orchestrating this moment. Right now, God is unraveling what's been hidden. Secrets are surfacing, locked phones, silent conversations, things never spoken, are now being exposed. Last night a veil was torn in the spirit realm. Someone who shouldn't have known your name, suddenly spoke it, and now that knowledge is spreading, to people you've never even met. There's a chain of events that has been activated, and it's heading straight toward you. This revelation was always meant to find you, it isn't too late, not as long as you remain open. There's something about you, they didn't see coming. You were supposed to be loved from a distance, quietly, safely. But you became their safe haven, their home, their quiet in the storm. And the moment they began hiding things from you, it started to feel like betrayal. That's what kept them awake through the night. That's what brought tears to their eyes, when no one else was around. That's what pushed them to whisper a prayer, maybe for the first time in a long while. They asked me to protect you, to shield you, even if they couldn't be fully honest with you themselves. But child, I don't protect through deception, I protect through truth. And here it is, you are seen, surrounded, and divinely guided at this moment. The instant your eyes landed on these words, the heavens began to shift, not because you're fragile, but because you've held strong for too long. Now it's time to receive what you never dared ask out loud. Let me say what others won't. The betrayal was emotional, not physical. It was a choice made in silence. A conversation took place, your name wasn't defended, and that pause echoed louder than words. Someone noticed, someone unexpected. And now they're watching you closely, wondering what you'll do once you know, because your reaction will change the direction of everything. But deep down you've already sensed this. That's why your dreams have been uneasy. That's why your gut clenched, when they insisted everything was okay. That's why that one song, once comforting, suddenly made you cry. You've always known, your spirit picked up on it, even when your mind couldn't understand. But heaven caught it, I caught it. That's why this message came to you now, because the timing is holy, and your heart is finally strong enough to bear the truth. You aren't losing anything today. You're being rescued, freed from the illusion of love, that wasn't rooted in full honesty. Released from the heaviness of half-truths. Pulled away from a path that never truly belonged to you. Listen well, this message isn't to frighten you, it's to ready you. The one you love is about to approach you, in a way they never have before. And when they do, they'll either bury the truth deeper, or let it rise. But you will already know, you'll see it in their eyes, you'll feel it in their words, and you'll understand, you were never meant to break from this, you were always meant to grow through it. And there's more than you even realize. Someone else is part of this, someone who's envied your light from the start. They said something last night, a word that never should have left their mouth. Now that word is echoing. That's why you've been unsettled, that's why your spirit has been weeping without cause. You're sensing the ripple of a secret released. But the powerful truth, God is rewriting that narrative right now. I, Archangel Michael, am standing guard, between you and whatever darkness meant to harm you. Your heart, your path, your purpose are protected. You won't be undone by this, you'll awaken in ways you never imagined. So I'll ask you this. What if their actions come from fear, not malice? What if the moment last night was divinely set up, so you could finally walk free of confusion, that's weighed you down? What if this is the only warning you'll receive, before destiny realigns everything? Don't overlook it, don't scroll away, don't silence what your soul already knows to be true. This message isn't about losing someone, it's about rediscovering your power. It's not about endings, it's about alignment. It's not heartbreak, it's a sacred shift, that will lead you to something far greater, than you thought possible. And very soon, someone unexpected will confirm every word you've just read. When that happens, you'll know you weren't just receiving a message, heaven was moving in your favor all along. The veil thinned, the lies trembled, and your angels cried, not in sorrow, but in relief, because finally you are seeing what they have tried to show you for so long. You're awakening to something sacred, something unstoppable. You've been standing at the threshold of a new chapter, and now the door has cracked open. All that remains is your choice to walk through it. Understand this, my beloved, they didn't want to hurt you. But their silence did, their hesitation wounded your trust, more deeply than any words could. And still your heart has been loyal, patient, endlessly forgiving. But your soul is ready now, ready to grow, beyond the limits of someone else's fears. Ready to stop being the only one holding on. And while they may have loved you in their own way, love without truth is not love at all. Love that hides, love that avoids, love that keeps you in the shadows, that is not the love your Creator designed for you. So now everything shifts. The truth that was once buried, beneath their fear, is rising to the surface, and nothing can stop it. They feel it, even if they don't say it. That tension in their voice, that sudden distance, that lingering hesitation. It's because they know that you've sensed it. They know the veil is lifting, and you're no longer in the dark. You're no longer asking for scraps of honesty, you are standing in full awareness now, and that alone is powerful. The truth will unfold in layers. Some of it will come in words, some will come in silence, some in unexpected ways, a message meant for someone else, a story that slips, a moment of divine alignment, when someone says exactly what you were afraid to ask. And when those pieces come together, your heart will know. It will click into place, like it always knew, because deep down, your soul was never confused, only your mind needed clarity. And now heaven is giving it. There's a reason this moment feels heavier than most. It's because your spirit is breaking free from confusion. You are shedding the weight of carrying love that isn't rooted in truth. You are walking away from cycles that only ever gave you half of what you needed. And I, Archangel Michael, I'm still here. Standing guard, clearing the path, making sure nothing that is not meant for you can follow you into this next season. They might try to explain, they might try to rewrite the story, they might tell you just enough to keep you, but not enough to heal you. That's where your power comes in. You don't have to fight them, you don't have to prove anything, just stand in your truth, let your peace speak louder than their fear. Because heaven has already confirmed it for you, what happened last night, what was said, what was exposed, it was no coincidence, it was the start of your spiritual realignment. Yes, child, something sacred is happening now, behind the chaos, beneath the discomfort, a miracle is forming. A divine unraveling of everything that once kept you in the dark. And though it may feel like loss, it is actually liberation. You are not being left behind, you are being elevated, lifted to a higher vibration, a clearer purpose, and a deeper peace than you've ever known before. There's someone watching you right now, someone who has heard parts of the story they weren't meant to hear. They're waiting, unsure whether to tell you, unsure if it's their place. But heaven is already working through them, they've been positioned as confirmation, and at the right time, their words will come. And when they do, it will be the final puzzle piece. You'll see how it all fits, you'll realize this was never about heartbreak, it was about truth, making its way to you, no matter how hidden it tried to stay. And as for the person you love, don't hate them, don't let bitterness take root in your heart. They are not evil, they are simply broken. But being broken is not an excuse to break you. You offered them grace, forgiveness, and unconditional love. What they do with that is their path. What you do next is yours, and yours is sacred, protected, destined. You may feel exhausted right now, like your heart can't take one more test. But let me reassure you, this is not another test, it's a transition. You are crossing over into clarity, into freedom, into healing, that no longer requires your suffering. The pain you felt wasn't for nothing, it prepared you to recognize what you truly deserve. Let them feel your absence, if they couldn't honor your presence. Let them face their own silence, if they couldn't share their truth, when you needed it most. You don't have to shrink anymore, you don't have to beg for what was never given freely. Let the truth rise, let it carry you, let it set you free. You're going to start noticing small miracles. The burdens will start feeling lighter. Conversations that once drained you will no longer hold your attention. Situations that once confused you will now feel transparent. This is what happens when truth enters your spirit fully, it filters everything that isn't real. And child, you are becoming realer every second. And in that becoming, you'll notice a shift around you. People who once ignored your worth will begin to sense your strength. Energies that once pulled you down will start fading. Opportunities that were delayed will now begin appearing, and you'll walk through them with a peace that no one can disturb. Why? Because you trusted the divine message, because you listened, even when it hurt. This is your miracle moment. The one that seemed to take too long, the one you cried for, the one you stopped believing would ever come, it's here. But not how you imagined, not wrapped in comfort, but clothed in truth. And truth, child, is the most powerful miracle of all. Now breathe, take this moment in, let it settle into your bones. You don't need to react, you don't need to fix anyone, you don't need to chase answers. The truth is already working for you, clearing the path, healing the wound, shifting the energy. What you need now is rest, not sleep, but rest in the knowing that heaven did not forget you. You were never meant to live in fear, never meant to wonder if love meant lies. You were created for divine connection, soul deep honesty, sacred peace. And that's what's coming. The moment you chose to stay open, the moment you chose to listen, the heavens began aligning everything for your next chapter. So take this message, not as a warning, but as a confirmation. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are being restored. You are exactly where you need to be. And soon everything that confused you will make perfect sense. Not because someone finally explained, but because you finally accepted that your spirit never lied to you, it saw the truth before your eyes did. This journey isn't over, it's just beginning. And now that you're walking in truth, there's nothing that can stop what heaven has prepared for you next. You see, child, last night was not just about a moment, it was about a pattern breaking, a cycle ending, a spiritual contract being torn up in the heavens, a soul agreement finally being rewritten by divine intervention. What was once hidden in shadows is now being drawn into the light, not to shame, not to destroy, but to release. To set free the weight that you unknowingly carried. Because your soul wasn't made to carry their silence, your heart wasn't designed to beat in rhythm with secrecy, you came here to walk in truth, to live in freedom, and to be loved wholly, without the chains of uncertainty, clinging to your spirit. And now, even though you may feel the ache of realization, it's the ache that comes, just before restoration. What fell apart wasn't the love you were promised, it was the illusion that held it hostage. The illusion that if you were just more patient, more quiet, more forgiving, things would finally align. But what God is showing you now, is that love doesn't require you to shrink. True love expands you, it sees you, not as a burden to be managed, but as a miracle to be embraced. This is the moment your soul has been waiting for. The divine shift that had to come through disruption, because comfort kept you in a place that could not hold your truth. And now truth is all that will remain. Everything false, everything half-given, every love that came with conditions, it is all unraveling now, not to break you, but to break the lie. The lie that you were ever too much, the lie that your sensitivity was a flaw, the lie that silence from others meant something was wrong with you. No, child, you are exactly as you were meant to be, sensitive, intuitive, powerful beyond words, and deeply loved by all of heaven. You were chosen for this moment, not because you are weak, but because your spirit is strong enough to carry the light of truth where others would fold. That's why heaven has your back, that's why Archangel Michael is guarding every step forward. That's why even in your solitude, you're never truly alone. Because divine armies walk with you now, because you have been appointed to rise, to walk out of the ashes of confusion, and into the clarity of divine revelation. And yes, the ones who once held the truth from you, they're feeling the shift. They may not speak it out loud, but their souls are stirring. They feel the absence of your light, they sense the peace that now surrounds you. They know deep down, that the game of hiding is over, that the truth has arrived, and it came wrapped in your silence, your strength, and your sacred no. And that no, it isn't spiteful, it's not revenge, it's clarity, it's the refusal to be pulled into cycles that don't honor your heart. You've grown in ways they never imagined. You've become someone who doesn't just survive storms, you speak to them, and they calm. Someone who doesn't just carry pain, you turn it into purpose. And now everything that once felt like loss, is beginning to look like liberation. That's the miracle unfolding before you. That's the sacred reward, for staying soft, in a world that tried to harden you. So take this moment, child, and stand still in it. Let the silence speak, let the light settle. Feel the presence of heaven all around you, reminding you that everything you thought you lost, was never truly yours, it was borrowed, a lesson, a mirror. And what is truly yours, is still on the way. It's not late, it's not lost, it's simply waiting for you to rise fully, into your alignment, into your knowing, into the version of you, that doesn't need to be convinced of their worth. Because that version is here now. That version is glowing from within you. And that version is not waiting for permission anymore. She walks forward with grace, he speaks with clarity, they move with certainty. And as you step into this new space, you'll notice something powerful, your heart doesn't ache the same, your thoughts don't spiral the way they used to, your prayers have changed, from begging for answers, to thanking God for clarity. You've crossed into sacred ground, you've walked through the fire, and came out refined. And now even your silence holds power, even your stillness speaks volumes. Because when you no longer seek validation, from those who couldn't hold your truth, you become a magnet for those who can. And they are coming. The ones who see you without explanation, the ones who honor your softness, without questioning your strength, the ones who come with peace, not with questions. You will know them by how they speak your name, not in whispers, not behind your back, but with reverence, with honor, with truth. And by then, the one who stayed silent, when your name came up, will feel the fullness of their decision. Not because you wish them harm, but because heaven never allows truth to stay hidden forever. And when it rises like the dawn, unapologetic, radiant, undeniable. This is the divine reckoning, this is the moment where God lifts the veil, not just for you to see clearly, but for others to finally recognize what they've missed. You are not bitter, you're blooming. You're not lost, you're aligning. And every tear you cried wasn't wasted, every sleepless night was a seed, every moment you chose to love, even when it hurt, those were sacred offerings, and heaven has received them all. So now, child, as you step forward, understand this, nothing ahead of you is smaller than what you've walked away from. What's coming is greater, purer, freer. The love approaching isn't rooted in ego, it's anchored in spirit. It doesn't ask you to prove, it simply shows up, ready to match your depth, ready to return what you've given, ready to hold your truth with tenderness. And that's why all this had to happen, that's why the silence, the distance, the heartbreak, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You were being cleared of everything that couldn't go with you into the next season. Every lie, every half-truth, every energy that clouded your clarity had to go. And though it hurt, it worked. Because now your path is clear, now your spirit is open, now your heart is no longer bound to timelines built on illusions. You are standing at the doorway of destiny. Behind you, the remnants of who you had to be, just to survive. Ahead of you, the truth that was always waiting to be lived. And now you have the strength to walk through. Not alone, not uncertain, but with heaven behind you, angels beside you, and your soul fully awake to what it truly deserves. Let the winds shift, let the truth rise, let the light in. Because your name has been spoken, in rooms you haven't even entered yet. Your story is being written, in ink that no lie can erase. And every piece of your journey is turning into prophecy fulfilled. Take a deep breath. You're not who you were, you're not where you've been, you are becoming everything they never saw coming. This is your divine turning point. And just like that, a new chapter begins, quietly, powerfully, and without apology. You might not hear trumpets, you might not feel the earth shake, but something eternal has shifted inside you, and it cannot be reversed. This is the moment your soul takes the lead. This is the moment your spirit stops shrinking, to fit inside rooms, where love was conditional, unspoken, or delayed. This time you're not asking permission to feel what you feel, you're not diluting your truth, for the comfort of someone who couldn't hold your depth. This time the awakening is sacred and final. They may not understand it, they may watch you from afar, wondering when you'll turn around, when you'll reach back for what was familiar. But child, you're not going backward, you're not reaching back, toward uncertainty, silence, or confusion. You're walking into clarity now, stepping into a season where divine timing aligns with divine truth. This is where delays turn into directions, this is where confusion gives way to conviction, and this is where you remember who you've always been beneath the ache. Because underneath every unanswered message, behind every vague response, buried under the silence, they knew. They knew you loved differently, they knew your heart was rare, they knew you carried something holy in your presence. But they mistook your softness for weakness, your patience for permission, your forgiveness for forgetfulness. And that was their soul's mistake, not yours. You, beloved, are not here to chase understanding from someone who was never honest with themselves. You're here to walk with angels, you're here to build with truth, you're here to anchor love, in a world desperate for it. And that begins with you, loving yourself enough, to stop returning to places, where your value is questioned. You are no longer the version of yourself, that tolerated pieces of love, you are the one who waits, for love to arrive whole. And it is coming, more gently than you expect, more beautifully than you imagined. A kind of love that doesn't doubt you, a love that shows up consistently, without being begged. A love that knows your name in prayer, and honors your presence in silence. A love that doesn't compete with your peace, but complements it. This isn't fantasy, it's prophecy unfolding, because you were willing to release what was no longer aligned with your future. So let this be your confirmation. You are not behind, you have not failed, you didn't waste your love. You grew, you expanded, you poured your light into a space that needed healing, even if it couldn't offer healing in return. And now you're being restored, fully, quietly, divinely. You'll notice it, in how your body relaxes, when you no longer hope for their message. You'll feel it, in the quiet confidence that settles over you, when you no longer need their validation. You'll sense it, in the way your spirit begins to smile again, unforced, unshaken, unafraid. That's not detachment, that's not numbness, that's peace. That's the presence of God, cradling your heart, and reminding you that you were never alone in the silence. Heaven was always speaking, you just had to get still enough to hear it. Now that you've heard, now that you've seen, there's no going back. Not because you're angry, not because you're bitter, but because you've outgrown what used to fit. You've risen into a version of yourself that doesn't settle for confusion when you deserve clarity. You don't chase loyalty anymore, it finds you, because you embody it. You don't fear being alone, you welcome the space that makes room for truth. And in that space, God is doing something new. The doors that wouldn't budge before are opening, the hearts that were closed off are being softened, the right people are being drawn to you, magnetized by your light. They'll come with honesty, they'll arrive with intentionality, they won't make you guess, they won't test your faith. Because they'll be led by the same divine presence that led you here to this moment, to this message, to this sacred return to yourself. So if it still hurts, breathe. If the ache lingers, hold on. Healing is not linear, and God is not late. There is beauty in the in-between, there is grace in the waiting, and the space between goodbye and hello is often where the miracle is being prepared. Keep walking, keep choosing truth, even when it trembles in your throat. Keep letting go of what only half loved you. Because each time you do, you signal to the heavens that you are ready. Ready not just for love, but for love that mirrors the depth you offer, ready for joy that isn't earned, but received, ready for peace that doesn't depend on someone else's consistency. You are ready for the kind of life you don't have to recover from. And if the memory of them still follows you, be gentle with yourself. Don't shame the part of you that loved them. That part was pure, that part was divine, that part proves your heart still believes in goodness, even after betrayal. That's not weakness, that's strength wrapped in grace. You loved deeply, even when it wasn't returned the same way. That's holy, that's rare, that's exactly why your next chapter will be filled with the kind of sacred love that reflects your spirit, not just your longing. Trust this, trust that you're not being punished, you're being positioned. Trust that what feels like distance is divine direction. Trust that the silence was not a void, but a voice, a heavenly one, guiding you towards something greater. Because child, the path ahead is not empty, it's been prepared. Every step you take now is on holy ground. Every tear you cried has watered the soil of your future. Every truth you chose over comfort has written your name in the book of divine reward. And what's coming, it will make sense of everything that hurt. So hold your head high, not because you're proud, but because you're free. Free from proving your worth, free from waiting for someone else's readiness, free from chasing answers that were always meant to come from within. You've reclaimed your voice, you've realigned with your purpose, and you've returned to the light that never left you. So when doubt creeps in, when memories echo louder than you'd like, come back to this truth. You are a soul that cannot be dimmed by someone else's denial. You are a love that cannot be erased by someone else's fear. You are a destiny that cannot be delayed by someone else's indecision. Walk forward now, not in haste, but in wholeness. Your miracle is not behind you, it's unfolding in real time. And the version of you who made it this far, that version deserves everything sacred, everything true, everything real. So breathe deeply, let the past go with grace, and step into the light that's been waiting for you to finally say yes. Amen.